I like to start my mornings journaling. The first page that I do is just a lined page where I can write whatever I want, reminiscent of Morning Pages from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. The next one is a to-do list of the day, but separated into things that I must do, should do, could do, and want to do. The next one is a gratitude journal setup, which helps me on low mood days when I need some perspective on my life in general. After that, I have a bit of free time. This is a look at my schedule for Monday. In the morning is when I can do my grad school assignments, my lesson plans, or work on any of the many projects that I have going on at any one time. In Korea, one of the best jobs for foreigners, specifically those who speak English, is teaching English. A lot of people come to Korea to teach English just for like a year or two. Some people do make a career out of it. Other people transition into other fields, and then some people just move on or go back to their home countries. For me, I really enjoyed teaching. Even though it wasn't my one passion in life, it was something that I genuinely liked doing and was good at. But when I was working at full-time jobs, I felt a little bit like my creativity and my energy was stifled. And I really, really wanted a schedule that was different every day, where I was teaching different kinds of classes, different ages of students. And so yeah, that's basically my schedule now. My first job of the day is doing an after-school program at an elementary school. And then after that, I do a group class. It's with a really small private school, and I only teach one class in the evenings. But it's on graphic novels, which is something that I really love. The evenings are usually when I like to enjoy my hobbies. I have a pretty long list of hobbies that I like to engage in at any given time. And this night, I'm painting. I am not an artist by any means. I usually just end up scrolling on Pinterest, finding pictures that I like, and either copying them or just drawing inspiration from them. These are paintings that I might hang up in my room or just paint over again later. For me, some of my hobbies are things that I feel like maybe I could make into jobs, but for the most part, I try to just enjoy them for the sake of doing them, because I want to be able to do things that I don't have the pressure to try and monetize or to try to become really, really good at. Sometimes I just like to do things just for fun. After cleaning up, I head off to bed. Tuesdays, I have a little less me time in the morning because I have a Pilates lesson at 11 a.m. This is one-on-one, so the price is steep, about 60,000 won. But I have a history of bad posture and back problems, and it helps me so much. Before Pilates, I am energetic and ready, but then after, I'm dead. Heading back to the subway, there was a nice little pop-up art display. Before I go to my school, I have time to grab lunch, and today I got a grilled fish lunch set. It was amazing. I go to 2 different schools, one on Mondays and Thursdays and one on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This school, I have a bit of a different setup. So before class, I get all my things ready. I work from home Tuesday evenings. I do freelance jobs that vary from editing to copywriting, and I always have different assignments each week. Of course, I grabbed some cake and made some coffee, happily spoiling my dinner. It's finally hobby time! When I was a kid, I remember my granny always watching TV and crocheting blankets and sweaters. She taught me the basics, and I've picked up the hobby as an adult, also making good use of my TV watching time. My granny was amazing, in that she would make these elaborate designs all from the top of her head. But alas, I haven't such skill. I like low-key patterns, where I don't need to focus too much on them and can crochet mindlessly while I watch my favorite shows. I mostly just make blankets, scarves, that kind of thing. I've had a lot of friends recently having babies, so I was on a baby blanket kick with this ultra soft yarn. I have a bunch left over, so I'm making some pillow covers for my throw pillows. Granny squares are absolutely perfect for me. Nice, easy pattern I can do again and again. Alright, I have my makeup done, my hair done, my earrings, my clothes, everything ready to go. I'm gonna go out soon, but before I do, I just wanted to give a little bit of insight into like how I created this work schedule that I have, this lifestyle. I don't even know what to call this life that I'm living. And there were 5 things that I was taking into consideration in particular. Number 1 was whatever I was doing for work, it had to be possible in Seoul, South Korea. I mentioned before that many foreigners end up teaching English here, but the one thing about living abroad, especially in Korea, your visa can be tied to your job, so you can't really do this kind of freelance lifestyle at all. Before COVID, I was able to get a residency visa, in particular the F27, which is a points visa. This is what allows me to live this kind of freelance life. Without it, it would not be possible. And 2, I wanted a different schedule every single day. I am not a big fan of monotony. I do like routines to some extent, but I love different routines for different days, if that makes sense. I knew that I would really thrive in the kind of schedule that brought new things each day. 3, I wanted to have my mornings free. I know that I am very much a morning person, and in the morning I am the most productive. And I wanted this time not to be spent on my work, but on myself, my own personal growth, my projects that I wanted to do. It's when I'm the most productive and reflective. And yeah, I just really wanted that time for myself at home. 4, I wanted to work 4 days a week. I loved the idea of having just like one extra day for myself or for whatever like pursuits outside of work that I wanted to pursue. And number 5 was all about time. Again, it's kind of counting in the other 4 things too, but I wanted a career in which I had the free time to pursue other things like education or studying Korean or just working on projects that I'm interested in. Also to engage in my hobbies. And this is more than just having like actual time, but also having like the mental space to be able to engage in these kind of outside of work things. When I was working as a full-time teacher, it felt like my whole life was that position, was that job. Even outside of work, I was always thinking about it. And when I came home from work, I would just be so tired. Like I couldn't do anything. So yeah, I hope that makes a little bit more sense about like why my schedule is the way that it is. And you'll see that on Friday is my free day. That's the one day that I spend doing things other than work. Today is Wednesday. It is my busiest day. I go to 3 different locations all over the city. So I spend a bit of time commuting. Right now, I would normally be having lunch at home, but I'm actually going to go out and meet a friend for lunch. All right, let's go. After school, I head to another cram school type place where I teach a group class, this time with younger students. So we read fun, easy books like Frog and Toad and play little board games. After this job, I head to yet another part of the city and meet with a client I've been doing copy and editing work with for a while. We meet once a week to go over projects and talk. This night, they bought me 닭갈비 for dinner. Yay! When I get home, I'm honestly too tired to really do anything. So tonight I just sat and watched my partner play Witcher. I finally got him to play it and now he's addicted, and like a true Witcher 3 player, he is just spending most of his time playing Gwent. This morning is a little stressful because I have open classes at my school. This means the parents of my students have the opportunity to come and observe my classes and leave comments and ratings on them. It's nerve-wracking and basically feels like a performance, but almost all of the schools I've worked at in Korea have had open classes, so I'm used to it. My assistant teacher brought me snacks from her latest vacation. Today I have 2 different adult students to teach, so I grab some coffee and sit in the park for a sliver of time I have before my lessons. With these students, they mostly just want to practice speaking. One student is going abroad, so we practice more situational English, while the other just likes talking. So I bring icebreaker type stuff and we just talk. We visit our favorite Chinese restaurant. Korean Chinese food is really good. We eat and drink happily. I I desperately need some stress relief from my hard day, so I play video games. I have to be careful with video games because I get addicted so easily. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I played it as a kid. Like Ocarina of Time and especially Majora's Mask, they're just timeless games for me. I recently just started playing Breath of the Wild. It's fun, I like exploring the map, but I don't know, it just doesn't compare to the old ones for me. Maybe I'm too nostalgic. Fridays are my free days, so I don't have anything scheduled. In the mornings, I try to study Korean. My journey learning Korean has been rough as a multipotentialite. There was a period of time when I was so motivated and eager to study. I took so many classes and I learned like the basics very quickly. After reaching an upper, intermediate, lower, advanced level, I really plateaued. I got distracted with other pursuits, other interests, and it's been tough to keep studying. Okay, so for lunch, I went to KFC. I was enticed by an advertisement that promised butter biscuits, but they weren't good at all, and I was so disappointed. After lunch, I start working on my graduate school assignment for the week. I've really enjoyed the classes that I've taken so far, and I like working from home and having a more self-paced course schedule, but in some ways I miss attending actual lectures and classes. I feel like there's a disconnect between me and the professor and the other students when we're studying online. Weekends, I also don't like to give myself any kind of schedule, and usually just spend them doing something with my partner and my friends. The great thing about living in a big city like Seoul is that there's always new stuff to do, new places to see. It's fun just finding new neighborhoods or areas to explore and seeing what you can find. On weekend mornings, I like to take the time to catch up on journaling. In addition to the morning journaling I do on my iPad, I have physical journals that I add to daily or weekly. This is my 5-year diary I started last year, which lets me write something about my day each day. Then I've been keeping this spiral bullet journal to track things like trips, memories. I had been doing yearly bullet journals for about 4 years, but it became a bit too much to keep up with. For today's lunch, I'm so sorry to any Italians or pasta lovers or humans in general, but my partner made a lasagna out of leftover chili. Honestly, it was amazing. Today is the day that I go to play Dungeons and Dragons. I've been playing with a small group of friends for the past 3 years now, and this is seriously one of my favorite hobbies, and the only one that I'm actively currently doing that involves other people. D&D is great for multipotentialites because you get to play a unique character. You get to play through different campaigns and stories, and there's always the chance of running your own campaign, which is equally fun, though stressful. Afterwards, I head home, and thus ends my week in the life. Thank you so much if you stuck around all the way to the end. I know I'm still a beginner at all this, and honestly, it was really hard putting together this video. Not just because I'm an amateur at making videos, but because I'm a multipotentialite, and it's hard for me to focus for too long on one thing when I've got so many other things going on at the same time. And obviously, I can't show everything about my life. There are parts of my jobs that I'm hiding a bit because, working with students requires some privacy. The companies and schools I work for also have their own restrictions on what I can show. For me, every season my schedule changes a little, sometimes even from week to week, but that's what I love about this kind of life. I never get tired of it. For the future of my channel, I want to share more about what I've learned about multipotentialites, things that have helped me, and maybe share more about my life in general. If that's interesting to anyone, comment down below your experience as a multipotentialite, subscribe, and hope to see you again.